Hi everyone, this presentation covers Chapter 5 on Professional Development in the third edition of Jacobsen's textbook, Introduction to Health Research Methods, a Practical Guide. In this chapter, you will learn that new researchers should assemble a team of collaborators and mentors early in the research process. Here is an outline of the chapter. Section 5.1 goes over research teams. Section 5.2 covers finding research mentors. Section 5.3 goes over the mentor-mentee relationship. Section 5.4 covers professional development. Section 5.5 covers social media and impact metrics. And Section 5.6 goes over responsible conduct of research. Section 5.1, research teams. So research is rarely completed by one person. When you look at the literature, oftentimes, or more times than not actually, there is at least two authors, if not a team of multiple authors. It's helpful to establish a team of collaborators once an idea is formed, but still early on in the research process, so that their contributions can be helpful to improving the study. Students should begin their research with a faculty member serving as a research mentor. So when you get to certain programs or certain courses, you may be paired up with a research mentor, or if you're working in research labs, you want to work with that research mentor and the faculty member as a research mentor. And so Section 5.2 goes over finding research mentors. Mentorship really is the informal or formal relationship between less and more experienced researchers. And mentoring offers professional development advice and guidance throughout the research process. So a mentor usually serves as a co-author on research presentations and publications. If you're a student working on a project and it's your interest in the project, if you seek out a mentor, they will usually help guide you on the research, but ultimately you are responsible for doing the bulk of the project, and then they just provide you their feedback. So some ways to find research mentors are to ask colleagues, classmates, professors, and supervisors. You can search faculty profiles of the researchers at a home institution. You can connect through professional organizations. And one way is to just email them to ask for professional development advice. However, if invited to talk to them, or if you speak to them, it's important to know that there's no guarantee that that's a formal agreement to serve as a mentor. And so I have been successful sometimes in the past by emailing potential mentors or email potential collaborators, or sometimes I don't get a response, and that's okay, because sometimes they're just busy, and if they don't have time to respond to that, then more than likely they don't have time to respond and give the time needed to be a mentor. Section 5.3 goes over the mentor-mentee relationship, and so when working with a mentor, it's really important to establish the following parameters up front. So what is the time availability, and how much time will the mentor give you versus, how much time you're expecting of the mentor. The preferred frequency and style of communications and meetings, the role and relationship the mentor agrees to, any resources the mentor agrees to provide. So this could be things like software to do a statistical analysis, or it could be that you want to present a poster and they may help pay for a conference presentation in the future, and expectations of both the mentor and the mentee. And another thing to keep in mind is you really want to be respectful of mentors by communicating often, asking questions, being honest about what you've done and what still needs to be done. I would say that I really would rather you tell me that you haven't done something than to give me multiple reasons why you haven't done it. Just tell me you haven't done it and when you plan to do it. Completing assigned tasks satisfactorily on time. Maintaining meticulous records. being open to receiving constructive criticism, and respecting the mentor's time. Section 5.4 goes over professional development. And this really is an establishment of short and long-term professional goals. So these could be some online learning modules to watch to help improve some different skills, but then it could also be some long-term professional goals, as in, say, if you're an undergraduate student about to graduate, then maybe your long-term goal is to get into a master's program, or maybe that's a short-term goal, or maybe it's taking some time off to really understand what you want to do and decide what you want to do next. The identification and completion of activities that enable systematic progress towards achieving those goals is a form of professional development as well. So, it's really, when working with a mentor, having a very specific set of questions, set of activities that you think you may want to do. I often get asked, oh, well, I want to do a PhD in epidemiology. What is your advice? Well, if I know nothing about you, besides that you're thinking about doing a PhD and don't really know, then I can't really advise you based on my own experiences. I can only tell you how I did it and what worked for me, but if you're not in the same place going into a PhD program, then I'm not able to give you that same advice towards your development goals. And a routine evaluation of performance, competencies, and growth. So some examples of research-related professional development. So as I mentioned before, online or in-person coursework or training programs about research methods are really good professional development, and it's always good to do it again. So you may take a research methods course and think, oh, I don't need to know research methods. Yes, because things change and there's always new ideas, there's new approaches, there's new technology, and a refresher is just always good. Then there's journal clubs. A journal club is usually where a group of people get together and they're assigned an article, and then they critically evaluate the article. Working as a research assistant, this is a great way to get professional development skills. Being active in professional organizations, attending and presenting at research conferences. I've actually just recently went to a conference and presented, and it's really just a great way to network with people, to find collaborators, but then also it improves your skills and improves your presentation skills. Section 5.5 goes over social media, and so this is new to this version of the textbook, and it really just talks about the importance of using social media appropriately and the benefits that you can have through using social media. And so one would be networking. You're able to have online conversations about methodology and tools. It's very easy to share resources through that channel and communicate about recent publications and build a professional online presence. So I go through phases where I post certain things on social media related to a professional online presence, but I also always look at all sorts of different sites that have resources available for training and learning about new methodologies. And so it's very helpful to be on social media for that respect. And so some examples of potential platforms, particularly used in public health, would be ResearchGate. So this is very specific to scientists, and it's where you would post your research studies. LinkedIn, this is professionally done, and many of you may be on it already. Twitter, I think people are on Twitter a little bit less now, but it's still used for different opportunities. And then Instagram, which I don't think that there is as many uses of Instagram because of the pictures, and it's harder to find links and things, but these are all great potential platforms. Section 5.5 goes over impact metrics, and so these are ways of showing your impact on the world and your impact on the research environment. And so these are called bibliometrics, and this is a quantitative analysis of the impact of written publications. And really it goes over how to improve your professional development, how to improve your impact on the scientific community is through these metrics. And so one is called the H index, which is a listing of publications, a number of times publications have been cited. And another is the I-10 index, which is the total number of publications by an author that has been cited at least 10 times. So you can look up, say, all the faculty at our institution through Google Scholar, and then you can see how it changes their H index and I-10 index there. Section 5.6 goes over responsible conduct of research. So part of professional development is being responsible and making sure that you are doing any trainings that are required for responsible conduct of research. These include research ethics and professionalism, and really learning ways to focus on the best practices for collaboration and communication with other researchers, academic writing and publishing, and habits of good co-authors. And so there are different training modules available to ensure that students and all researchers, we have to do it as faculty as well, adhere to certain guidelines for responsible conduct of research. So that is it on Chapter 5 on professional development. Thanks for listening.